you do incredible teaching about the brain and why trauma alters the brain, how it alters the brain, and how someone in chronic trauma and stress I'm using your quote, a quote from your book here, can gain help from the other governing brain systems in order to coordinate care. Can you unpack that?
The whole brain thing, it's an important topic for us to talk about because I think so many of us as betrayed partners are, or even those that are acting out, are really unfamiliar with what's going on in their body and what's going on in their brain. And when we're betrayed and we're in the thick of it, our brains are really mushy.
Yeah.
We don't even think clearly. We don't even see straight. And so the idea of talking about brain parts, um, I mean, it's like going to a college science class when you're feeling like you're in second grade. It just doesn't line up. I thought, what would it be like if I were to create an awareness for us using brain parts, which I have called the Triune Council. So this is the Triune Council. And the main characters are Ugg, Amy, and the CEO. And Ugg is the primal brain. It's the part of our brain that is the most instinctive. And that's why kind of like he's on a higher platform here, almost like the Olympics. They've got different qualities, but he holds the most power in our brain. And then next to it is Amy, the amygdala, and I'll talk about her in a moment. But um, she's is our relational component. And then the CEO is the boss of our brain, and that's where our thoughts. So it's so important what we think. But this is the Triune Council. And getting to know these characters helps us to manage moments when we might even be frightened about our own body because we feel something's going on. We might have anxiety, depression, our heart might start pounding, and our body can become our own source of fear. Helping partners understand this team within ourselves demystifies that. And I think my experience is it helps us, it kind of quiets us inside because now we have a name for it. We have can identify what's going on. And then each one of these characters needs certain things from us. There's certain tasks that we can do for each one of these to support us and to make sure that we're in a healthier place. This is my concept of self-care. You can see.
Oh.
uh,
Okay, who's the green broccoli head girl?
yes, yes, that's Harmony. Harmony is the hippocampi. She's the one uh, who actually stores the information that happens in our life. She's the one for us that saves those anniversary dates, all our D days and those memories. She sorts those things that are both good and bad. When they're working together, they're getting good help and support from us. They're a fabulous team. They're what keep us running every day.
Yeah.
But when we have sexual betrayal and the impact of all that, it's like all bets are off, and they can actually work against each other. And that's where we get to step in and help them.
How do they work against each other? Can you explain that?
Yeah. So, well, let me just take a second and talk about it. I wanted to just tell you a little second. So here they are on the road to Vegas. Um,
I
yeah,
love
I
it.
know.
I love that.
They're good, right? They're in the car. There's Amy. She's in the front seat. It's the CEO's driving, of course. He's got directions and he knows right where he's going. And here's Amy, and she's on her phone, just woo, having a great time. And then here's the Ugg, who's in the back seat, because when the CEO is in charge and Amy's having a good time, Ugg can relax. But this is what happens when there is a trigger, right? Or we come up to an anniversary date or something happens. Look who's driving. Ugh, the thug with the club is driving. And then Amy's, help me, help me. And then the CEO is hanging on for dear life. So do you see how this happens in a millisecond. But when I talk about and explain how that works, like triggers are understandable. It's like, okay, okay, that's Ugg. Ugg is large and in charge. This guy right here. And Ugg asks the question that we all ask is, am I safe? That's what Ugg wants to know. But Ugg is the guy that reigns supreme. He is actually in charge of the whole autonomic nervous system. And so when something happens, Ugg, grabs his club and is just off to protect you 100% of the time. What Ugg needs is body calm. Like he needs grounding exercises. He needs bottom up regulation. Top down is what you think. It would be more like the CEO is the thoughtful guy, and they talk about top down regulation that has to do with more what you believe. Bottom up regulation has to do with your body and getting it calmed down. And that's where we've got to quiet our body. We've got to get ourselves to a place where we can actually even sit down. I've gone through airports where I've gotten triggered because I happen to see something that triggers me, and my heart will start racing, and I've got to go find a seat at the airport and just sit down for a couple minutes so I just have my wits about me. And it can happen at the airport. It can happen when I go down by the beach. I mean, I wish I didn't have these triggers. I wish I was trigger less, but they're there. They're less than they used to be, but I have to manage them. And so when I'm doing mindfulness skills, when I'm doing yoga, when I'm meditating, when I'm getting hugs for others, from others, then I'm caring for Ugg, and bottom up regulation is how I help to calm Ugg down and quiet my body down. So when you have a trigger, next time you have a trigger, just go, okay, Ugg has got his club, and I need to hold him like I would a small child. I need to calm him down.